Godot is maybe the third most popular game engine used to make games. There's probably close to 10,000 games made a year, probably with Godot, if you're counting all the free games made. There's a big exposure to what's called the PCK files, which is what developers use to package up all the code that comes in, runs the game. It goes right through most of the virus detectors as well.
For the viewers out there that go, well, we don't, who's playing games on company machines? And it's like, well, your developers are probably have some crossover where they're developing games on a machine and then go, hey, I'm also going to have some login credentials that are also on this machine.
If you're doing anything sensitive on a computer, don't play games on that same computer.
No one's going to follow that.
No
one's going to follow that.
Even if the company goes, hey, you're not allowed to play, how many employees at the company are going to be like, I'm really bored right now waiting between two meetings. You know what? I'll just pop up for 5 minutes. I'll play my favorite game that I've downloaded off of itch.io or some other little small indie game site.
Just know that the world of video games is just the Wild West. Some of the games themselves are basically rootkits.
The FTC looked at 184 different smart devices, and quite a number didn't actually communicate to buyers or consumers how long the products would receive software updates or how long they would be even under warranty or updated.
I guarantee you the reason companies don't want to do this is because if you start reporting that information to consumers, they're so much less likely to buy. Like if it says like this light switch, which takes 30 minutes to install, will be end of life in 2 years. Like who's going to buy it then? Like, I don't know.
Most of the security stuff that we do see in IoT, like the main problem is designed around convenience, right? These things are designed to be as convenient as possible. And that opens up this kind of like, Pandora's box of security issues that, are inherent.
Pandora's toaster. The U.S. senators proposed a law to require bare minimum security standards for healthcare organizations.
I think two-factor was on that list.
Yes. MFA, basically it says American hospitals and healthcare organizations would be required to adopt multi-factor auth and other minimum cybersecurity standards. I mean, I think this is great. I will say, like, the immediate corollary for me is, like, if you think about FedRAMP. So, like, if you don't know what FedRAMP is, it's basically minimum security standards for companies that are DoD adjacent, right? They have required MFA. Like, if you have the FedRAMP version of whatever software it is, it will require MFA. So, like, I think this is a no-brainer and should be done. If the government makes healthcare people do it, they'll do it. Starbucks ransomware, are we going there?
Oh,
their payroll thing. It was the third party related to time tracking.
There's a lot of organizations that can't even identify who their third-party SaaSes are. As part of your third-party risk assessment, that's a whole nother conversation, but at least can you sit down with IT, purchasing, accounting, and find out who your third-party providers are?
This is a key point for, like, if you're a CISO or if you're worried about the whole third-party risk thing, guess what everyone's talking about? Starbucks. They're not talking about whatever the actual company is that got hacked because it affected Starbucks. It's the same thing as the Snowflake thing. Snowflake got, had some security issues that maybe they could have fixed, but all the companies that use Snowflake are the ones who have to report the breaches and deal with the blowback, not Snowflake. So what's this water thing that's happening?
DEF CON has done the voting machine villages to where they examined voting machines, pointed out all of the deficiencies in them, and worked with the industry in order to bolster them. And this is a similar story with the water infrastructure. At DEF CON 20, they had one of the speakers that was also at DEF CON 1. And the first and she came back and she did it's like, look, I stood up there at DEF CON 1 and said, all of you are criminals and we're going to find you, we're going to arrest you, we're going to put you all in jail. And she came back and she said, like, at DEF CON 20, she's like, okay, now I am standing up here saying, we need you. Like, we want to work with you. We want to collaborate with you. We understand things change in 20 years of DEF CON.
It gives that industry confidence that things can be tested in a safe and controlled manner. If it can be done by DEF CON volunteers, it can be done by any pen tester in theory, right? Safely. And I think the biggest argument that I make for our clients all the time is like, well, you're already being tested. It's just a case of, do you want us to tell you the results or do you want the real hackers to just send you the ransom note?
Join us for live InfoSec news every Monday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the Black Hills InfoSec YouTube channel.